Hello everyone, it's mysticjuicer here with some more Yomi action, continuing my casting of my own International Yomi League Season 4 matches. This match is me versus Volcanya. Volcanya is, at the time of this game, the #1 position in our division. So definitely want to make a good showing here. I believe at that time I was third, so it's getting a very tight race, and I need to do well. So Rook versus Valerie. Volcanya has been playing a very significant amount of Rook in the division so far. So I was prepared to play the mirror match. I did do a little bit of research and homework. It looks like Valerie is his next sort of complementary character that he likes to play. So I guess he does not enjoy the mirror match, the Rook mirror match. I don't blame him. It can be a tense kind of thing. So if you're not comfortable in it, and you're more comfortable in a different kind of match, definitely going to pick that. So it opens up with a very insistent throw game, even going into kings to beat early blocks. And I'm just holding down back for this first period. Valerie's strength really comes out in the mid game, where she's got a lot of cards in hand. She's got aces on deck. She can string a ton of normal attacks together to get continuous aces and continuous card draw and continuous build and damage. And the longer I can prolong this awkward section where she doesn't have quite the tools she wants to be able to get much damage off of throw, and I prevent any kind of follow-up setups, any cross-up attempts. As long as I avoid those, I should be in good shape. I'm sitting on, I've basically lost every combat in the opening of this match, and I'm only down 8 health overall. And I'm working on quite a nice hand. In this matchup in particular, queens for Valerie are incredibly important in order to defend against ace-ace and also checkmate buster. That's a very tough combat loss for me to take. That's a lot of free damage going right into Volcanya's hand. 10 card Valerie and no jokers on deck for me is rough. So the play here is either for Volcanya to go for a block to get rid of, if he's really worried about a rock armor attempt, it doesn't have the fuel to deal with it, or to do exactly what he's doing right now, which is to pummel me with 1,000,000 damage, leading into double ace, and with no joker, this is going to deal a ton of damage. Yeah, 38, and is not even going to go very far down in cards. So I have to equalize, I have to follow this up. Oh yeah, and I was really stupid there. I powered away my 7, which I wanted to have. Yeah, really bad mistake. I wanted to do 5, 6, 7, so use the queen and the 9 for rock armor, and then do 5, 6, 7 to get second ace. Now I'm having to, essentially get 2 additional aces, see if I can convert those 9s as well, and then try to get my way back into the game with a checkmate buster. Or with enough blocks, if he's being really persistent. Okay, so he immediately goes for the throw, and this could be lethal. I don't want to face down. I need all the aces I have. If he kills me, he kills me at this point. Yeah, just goes for the standard 22 damage. Puts me at 11. And I need to do something to get back in this game. But Powering up there would have left me completely vulnerable to a queen play, or even just single ace. Could have just taken me out of the game if it hit my checkmate buster. Even if I beat it with ace-ace, he's still at 41. So I expect probably a king or a queen. King is very strong here. I think I'm looking to see if he has any additional aces that I wasn't keeping track of. Matt has played a single red king, so I go for the black block. Block a dodge. So I'm building a hand. I'm still going to need to win this game essentially with ace-ace. Or I should say ace-ace, and then another ace-ace, and then another ace-ace. So, trying to find my way. Even if I hit checkmate buster here, I still need to struggle to close it out. And yeah, continuous dodging, even after I make the 4th ace reel, so kudos to Volcanya for having a keen eye for how I want to play this game, and closes out the first game in a dominating fashion. And this is exactly, I mean, I don't feel incredibly comfortable playing Rook versus Valerie. Way back in IYL 2? Yeah, in IYL 2, I had a match against Shax, Rook versus Valerie, and I actually had to switch out of it to go to Grave because I just was not making any kind of headway. I was way too nervous, not making the calls I needed to. So I'm taking a moment here to think about whether I want to switch out. So my other option is I can go to Grave, which I have a really, really rusty kind of garbage Grave, and I don't think that's going to go well against Valerie. And even if it does, or if I go to Onimaru, for instance, which I feel okay playing Onimaru versus Valerie, I'm not confident. I basically think as soon as I give Volcanya a non-mirror match, he's going to go to Rook, and I actually feel way better playing against non-Rook characters than I do against Rook. I'm fine with the mirror match, because I'm still playing Rook at least. But yeah, ultimately I decide I don't like my odds against a Rook of Volcanya's caliber as any other character, so I would rather just stay as in this matchup. So again, opening, block heavy, and block out a first turn ace, which is great. I've got a ton of kings now on deck. They're kind of difficult to land versus Valerie sometimes. She has a fair amount of good starters in her king. Yeah, I guess it's just her king, actually. I mean, she can play her king to hedge against my own king. And she can start a 5 and a 6 and actually convert it into a faster move through burst of speed. So I feel like kings are most effective early game, but then in the early game, Valerie is also fairly content playing 5s and 6s to poke out kings, so and build hand. So it's kind of a trade-off. You can use kings to try to get around her starters in the mid game. But they can also be very effective in the early game. I figure there's no way he thinks I'm going to play 3 kings in a row, so I just do it. It's a lot of free damage, so I'm happy to take I guess 10 damage to, or 13 damage to deal 30 is a very good trade for me. I've got a lot of pairs going. Valerie is still at a 7-card hand, so I'm going to continue to block. And that's a nice combat win, getting rid of a big normal. Expecting either the 4th king or another throw there. And now I've got a 10-card hand and 3 6s, which are very, very tempting to start playing as rock armor attempts. I'm just going to keep blocking until he shows me he's willing not to just throw attacks. And then we're going to put aces on line. I'm gonna pick out the one, so hearts, because I've got hearts and spades. Not sure about the spade, but hearts definitely, because I've got 10 and 7 as a good good option there. Try to find a queen. See if I can get a rock armor set up. And now that I've drawn a joker, I feel okay about throwing. So get hit with the queen there, that's fine. It's only going to be 8 damage. She's not at a hand size where she can really afford to pump. Continue throwing, again, I still have joker, so I'm fine there. I might bluff here, but no, probably doesn't make any sense. It's almost certainly going to follow this up to get aces, so I'd like to prevent that damage, and end up drawing the second joker, which is going to make the rest of this game very, very good for me. So ace-ace on deck, could see single ace come out. Go for the rock armor attempt and find a throw, which is phenomenal. This is going to be a free 24 damage. Oh, okay, no. Decide to respect it. Yeah, she's still stuck on 7 cards, and I'm okay with just sitting on this basically 40 health lead to keep Valerie on a lower hand size. Okay, going for the rock armor setup again now that I have 10 that I can lead into a queen. I've been playing fairly block heavy, but yeah, he definitely knows I'm fishing for rock armor now. Yeah, very likely. Yeah, gonna power those up. No reason to discard in a situation where I can get Checkmate Buster online. Especially when ace-ace is such a great move for Rook in this matchup. Basically beats everything except for queen. Okay, went for the 8 throw attempt. Again, disrespecting Checkmate Buster or ace-ace. Was expecting me to block, which is very, very likely for me to do. I definitely like doing that. Blocking with aces in hand. The Mystic Juicer story. With 30 health, cross-up attempt is very, very tempting, so I'm going to go for that. Get shut down. But that's fine. I'm okay taking 10 damage here. And I can afford to play something like that has like a really bad downside in terms of losing combat with a 5. Because I've got the second joker as backup, so I can still continue to sit on this life lead. So I managed to hit ace-ace. Decide to try to go for kill with the 5. Really no reason to do that. I should probably have saved... At this point I should be saving the 5s for cross-up attempts, but I don't think that's going to happen. Figured I'd try to fish an ace out. Okay, land into a joker, but I'm still very, very much in control of this matchup. I've still got ace-ace on deck. I've got 3 9s that I can convert into more aces. Even if I get outsped with a queen here, and I believe in this matchup in this match he's already played 2. So I'm probably just going to play ace-ace here. Even if it fails, it's going to put him... if he blocks it, it's going to put him at 5. Which just... like, I've got Jack that deals 2 chip, 2 queens that deal 1 chip each. I can power up the 9s for more aces, for more chip. It's rapidly becoming a very desperate situation for Volcanya. So taking a think about what he wants to discard. Yeah, and those queens are going to turn into aces. Forgot he was in the discard step. Yeah, so at this point, I'm just going to play ace-ace until it works. And luckily it works on the first try. So clean out game 2 in a fairly good fashion. Take minimal amounts of damage. Die with another joker in my hand, so doing pretty good. So happy I stuck with Rook, didn't switch out. Now that I've got my game plan, we're given a hand with no blocks, so we're going to first turn throw. Because at least that looks less suspicious than 5 blocking first turn. So unfortunately get hit with the ace. Just hoping that I can get out of this without running too many things into blocks and or... I still want to throw, but I don't want to lose my only available normal block, so we're going to block some more with that too. Luckily, find ourselves a 5. That's fine. I now have... Yeah, I now have a normal that I'm much happier blocking with. Okay to risk the 8. It's not really doing anything for me in this hand, as opposed to the 2, which is, you know, a throw I actually feel safe throwing with, that I have a high likelihood of successfully landing if we do throw clash. Because Valerie can outspeed... I mean, Rook's other throws are on his 3, which you don't want to spend the 3 as a throw in this matchup. The setup off of Rock Armor is so much better. Or the Rock Armor setup is so much better if you protect yourself from a poke with it. And then the next highest throws are 6, well, aside from King, 6 and 7. And Valerie's 7... And yeah, Valerie's 7 can be burst of speeded once to beat both of those. So that's kind of an ugly reality of the matchup for Rook. So we get aces online. Yeah, mashed deck. I should have always make sure that when you're powering up for aces, you are looking for Rock Armor possibilities, especially if you're powering up for 3 aces in hand rather than all 4. Because if you've got all 4 off, of course, you're covering all your Rock Armor possibilities anyway. But with 3, you want to make sure that you're picking the right ones. So 12 card Rook, 12 card Valerie, no Joker in hand for me. Makes this still a pretty awkward and potentially, deadly situation. The nice thing for me is that Volcanya hasn't been able to find a straight, and he hasn't been powering up for any additional aces. So yeah, very happy to block that rather than throw into it. And definitely going to discard here. I don't want to get rid of queens. They're still really valuable in this hand. And at these life totals. If I can extend the lead a little bit, I can start making Rock Armor a really big threat. So again, we're going to try to gobble up a 2, 3, or 4 starter with this king. And luckily we catch a throw instead. I showed him last turn that I was willing to block at high hand. So prompted him to try to go after me with a throw. Throws a 5 into a block, and now we've got a good setup going here. I can try for... I don't have any jacks, so I can't really start with a 7, but I could go for a 5, 6, 7, or just go for the kind of known and expected 10 attack here. Yeah, so he blocks even, so an odd block would have been the way to go, and really only the 5 would have succeeded. I think in this matchup it's probably fine to attack with the 5s. There's little enough reason for Valerie to really play single ace except in the late game, and ideally in the late game you're defeating single ace with ace-ace of your own rather than the 5 block, so... Okay, yeah, very nicely timed queen there. Probably expecting... could have been expecting checkmate buster, could have been expecting ace-ace as a defense against a combo starter from Valerie. Just gonna power up my 7s. The ace-ace is doing way more work than any normal throws here. And it still leaves the possibility of checkmate buster open. So now that we have the joker, I feel okay leading with the 10. I've got the ace of clubs that I'm going to have to discard if I don't get a blue burst, get a club off a blue burst. Okay, so this is going to be a good trade for us. Even if he doesn't follow up here, it's going to put us nicely ahead in the lead, in the life lead. And with a 13 card hand, it's very tempting for Valerie to go all in here, especially with aces probably on deck. No, 5 aces, or no aces, just 5 normals. So just deals the 7. I don't draw another club, but I'm perfectly happy throwing away an ace here and just maintaining AA. Okay leading into that because he's already going to be drawing 3 aces to go up to a 12 card hand, so feeding him a few additional cards isn't really going to change very much about the next couple turns. So now we're back onto ace-ace as the very safe option for me, and anything else being the very scary, awful option for me. So luckily, land ace-ace to take him down to 19. And now we just have to not die. So king comes pretty good right about now. Yeah, throw attempt because, you know, it's very likely that I'm feeling, oh god, I've just played all of my aces, I've got nothing left in hand. So I'm going to turtle up. And now that I've got this life lead, I can just go for the 4 rock armor attempt. This is GG. There is no way that Valerie can deal 72 damage in one combo. I am going to face down here anyway, just in case I'm forgetting something, and I don't want to look silly when I get completely exploded, but I believe her max combo damage is something around the range of 50, which is still insane, but it is not 72. So that is game 3. Got plenty of rock armor options. And finish it out with a 4. So up 2 games on match point. Just have to take 1 more. Feeling pretty good about my chances. Feeling very happy that I stuck with Rook rather than switching out. But it was definitely a close thing. So nothing I really want to block with, so we're going to open up with a throw. Luckily, he chooses to throw with a 9, which would mean that in order to beat that 6, he would have to burst of speed twice, rather than just the once. Going to go for the cross-up attempt. And unfortunately, give Valerie some cards, but we get some cards of our own as well. And we're still sitting on a healthy 2 normal blocks. Keep throwing. I've played the last couple games pretty conservative in the opening few turns, so I figure I'll switch things up a little bit in these in this match, just to try to switch up my range, keep him guessing. And I've got the payoff off of the cards that I have in hand to be able to do it and justify it. So why not? So now, yeah, Ace of Hearts definitely going to come out because I've got the 7 and the 8 as rock armor options, and a draw a 9, which is great too. So now we're going to go back to blocking. We've played very aggressive these first couple of turns, and we've got a huge life lead as a result. So now we're just going to sit back on it until we've got more options in hand, and draw the 10. So now I've got 24 off of rock armor. Just going to wait out the retaliatory attacks to try to keep my throws and my rock armor stuff out. But now we're sitting on a nice 11-card hand. Expect more attacks, so going for the 3 setup. If I get thrown here, I'm perfectly fine with that. Block another queen, that's 2 played? 2 or 3 played? I think 2, yeah. So we're, our ace-ace is becoming incredibly strong as we enter the late game. And definitely going to go for a cross-up attempt here with the 7. Because I have basically only ever done... Actually, no, I did the 5 just this last turn, or at the beginning of this game. But again, it's still overwhelmingly likely that Rook is going to attempt an even cross-up against you. And the 7 gives me good payoff as well. So I get hit with the 2. I've got enough cards in hand that I can face down here with no trouble whatsoever. Really make him think about following up this combo. And he really needs to in order to make this an even game. So I get really good value off of that bluff. And yeah, thinking about what I want to power up. I'm going to keep the 10s just in case I find a jack or something. Yeah, go for maximum pump. It's not quite, so I don't quite get him to 15, which is the magic number at which king becomes incredible. But with the game going the way it's going, and the situation we've got, I don't think I'm going to need 10s. Yeah, so really nice 5 poke here, and I am going to get maximally punished off of this combat, but it's almost too. Yeah, so I'm going to face down anyway because there's really no. I've got everything I could possibly want in hand right now. Yeah, so he gets a ton of aces. Yeah, every ace ever goes into his hand. Yeah, still 37 points of damage. So evens things up a little bit, but I'm still sitting on a 40-point life lead. And we're going to king again, because ace-ace is such a likely threat. Because I believe both aces, or at least one of the aces is known. And then just block our way out. Want to maintain ace-ace for as long as possible and try to exhaust every other option to find lethal. And luckily, find the queen that was played to try to get ace-ace away and close out the game like that. So, shorter game, really glad I was able to turn around in the later parts, or after the first game. First game was really, really demoralizing. Absolutely dominant game by Volcanya. And yeah, it's just really lucky that I was able to settle down and play what I needed to. So GG's to Volcanya, really, really strong opponent. Yeah, I really hope that Volcanya... I want both Rooks to advance into the playoffs, obviously. I think that'd be fantastic. So look forward to seeing the results. And thank you everybody for watching. If you want to get involved with Yomi community, either online or in person, it is an in-person card game that you can buy. All of the information for where you can get that is in the description below. And until next time, this is Mr. Juicer signing off and saying enjoy yourself some Yomi.